We'll start with Coach Alvarez.
Thanks, Brian. And I also would like to thank all of you for coming out this afternoon for this exciting announcement of the Wisconsin-Notre Dame series. We at Wisconsin are honored to have the privilege to play a program with the rich tradition of Notre Dame. This has been a while in the works. It's taken a while to put this together, but we're very excited about it. We've had the opportunity in the last few years to play at both Soldier Field and Lambeau, and found that it was a tremendous experience for our student athletes and our fans and coaches. I know our staff and football team are extremely excited about these future games. So with that, I'll turn this over to Jack.
Thanks, Coach. I want to echo Barry's thanks to so many people who helped make this happen. The Chicago Parks District, the Green Bay Packers, Under Armour in hosting us here today, but especially Wisconsin and Barry for these things are always a Rubik's Cube when you're trying to figure out how to put them together. One piece of it moves and you got to go back and try and refigure it, and we had to stick with it, but it is in so many regards came together exactly as we wanted it to, and I think it'll be a great experience. When we're trying to make scheduling decisions, we have three goals. The first is the experience for our students who play football. The second is the competitive ramifications of the game. And the third is, how does it advance the university? What are the connections? What's the story? I don't know that we could have scheduled a game against an opponent in two venues that could have hit those marks more effectively than this two-game series. There's so many connections here, especially meaningful for me in this month to have this announcement come so shortly after the passing of Ara Parseghian, because Ara's first game as Notre Dame's head coach was at Madison against Wisconsin. And the connections continue between these two schools in a host of ways. Of course, all that Coach Alvarez contributed as a member of the national championship staff at Notre Dame. Heck, one of my most valued literary possessions is Doc Meanwell and Newt Rockney's book. One of the first things given to me when I started the job. So these are two schools with a host of reasons to play each other, who will play in two iconic venues and I think deliver a great experience for our students. So again, to Wisconsin and to all of you here today, thank you. Mark?
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, we, on behalf of the Packers and Lambeau Field, we're really excited to be hosting this two-game series, the one game at Lambeau and Soldier Field, between two storied programs. You know, I think this is going to be great for the game of football. I think you have two, as I said, storied college football programs, two playing in the two oldest stadiums, historic and iconic stadiums in the NFL, and also, you know, I think is the best rivalry in the NFL between the Bears and the Packers. We played each other for almost 100 years now, and we're exactly tied. So that's it gives you an idea. It's a pretty darn good rivalry. You know, in Lambeau Field, obviously, we're going to be really honored to host the first game between these two schools since 1964. And you know, I think obviously Lambeau is named after Curly Lambeau, who was a football player, albeit a short career at Notre Dame, but there's a strong connection there. Obviously, we've had quite a few players over the years from both Notre Dame and Wisconsin. And you know, this last year was kind of the first time we got into hosting college football games. We hosted, through Barry's work, we were able to secure a game, two-game series, one down in Houston, and then last year we hosted Wisconsin and LSU. Thought that was very successful, and that was the first college game that we'd hosted at Lambeau Field since 1983. Some of you may not remember the Lombardi Memorial Series between Fordham University and St. Norbert College. Needless to say, we drew a little better for the LSU Wisconsin. So we're really excited. I think it's going to be great for the state of Wisconsin. You know, you're looking ahead to 2020. It's going to be just a great time of year for sports fans in Wisconsin, in addition to Badger games in September, and then of course this game, our games in the season, and then the Whistling Straits will be hosting the Ryder Cup the weekend before the Notre Dame Wisconsin game. So it's going to be a great time. And the other, by 2020, we're catching up with Chicago. I know Green Bay doesn't have quite as few amenities as as Chicago, but with the development around the stadium, particularly our Titletown district, that will be up and running in 2020, and that's something we're really excited about. And lastly, I just wanted to thank so many people that really had to come together to work this out. Paul Daniel from our staff really led our team, did a great job with it. And I want to thank both athletic directors, both Jack and Barry. Just did a great job, and I know these are difficult decisions. And as Jack said, it's kind of a Rubik's Cube. These schedules are done well in advance, and but particularly Barry just has been great to work with. And this series would not have come about if it were not for Barry, with his strong connections with obviously Notre Dame and Wisconsin, and the great relationship that we have with Barry with the Packers.
So I know you all want to get the questions, but I just want to echo everyone else's comments on behalf of Mayor Emanuel, the City of Chicago. I cannot thank enough Mark and Jack, and of course Coach Alvarez's support on this. I do want to recognize Tim Lefebvre and my entire team at the Park District and SMG, who runs the stadium. We certainly know how to put on a show in the Chicago Park District. We're certainly associated with kids and our programs, but Lollapalooza, the MLS All-Star Game, and we've got Coldplay coming in a couple of days. These are great events that we do, and I think the one point I really want to make is that put a human face on it. All the revenue from Soldier Field and from this game goes back into the kids of Chicago. We serve hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kids playing youth football, arts, dance, all those after-school programs that we clamor so much for. They're in the Chicago Park District, and you can't scholarship those kids without games like Notre Dame and Wisconsin. So I really sincerely cannot thank all of you enough for bringing this game back to Soldier Field. My only regret is it's 2021. I don't know about you all, but I'm ready for football, and I can't wait for this game. So with that, I'll turn the mic back over and for questions.
So we'll